Let's talk a little bit about tape libraries because this makes the observer. The WWE is getting very aggressive in trying to purchase pretty much all the available semi major league pro wrestling video footage on the market. The idea is that Vince wants everything that is there. The company at this point already owns the AWA library, the WCW library, theoretically owns the Crockett and Old Georgia libraries through the WCW purchase, as well as the ECW library and the Smoky Mountain library. I believe they have purchased the Stampede library or are on the verge of doing so. And a lot of work is being done currently on this project. And the company this past week hired Peter Clifford as the new vice president of affiliate sales. Clifford's main responsibility will be to sell the idea to cable and satellite services, as Clifford has worked since 1996 in both affiliate sales and later managing director of affiliate ad sales for the Golf Channel, where he managed a golf video on demand venture. So it comes out here in '04 that, hey, Vince is trying to collect all the footage everywhere, with the understanding that the original idea is going to be WWE on demand and WWE 24/7. And of course we know what that became, the network. When did you first know that Vince was going to start snatching all this stuff up? Because as he acquires some of these old libraries, they are major expenditures. In hindsight, not nearly as major as they looked at the time. Did you know this was always the plan? Had he always laid it out like that?
The plan evolved. The plan's still evolving. And when different areas became available and those properties became available, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. The older wrestling promotions, will say that it's called Georgia Championship Wrestling and the AWA. Those would probably be exceptions to the rule. The majority of those old time wrestling organizations, they didn't keep tapes. Right. They shot their TV a lot of times in a television studio. Then they would take one tape and they would bicycle that tape around the territory. What I mean by that is they would take that one tape and they would take it to the next television station, and that would play. This is a tape that's going to play this week, and then they'd take it to the next one. This will play next week, and so on and so forth. Then they would go back and they would pick those tapes up and tape over them and do the same thing, bicycle those tapes all across. So if you're in Tennessee, you do TV on Saturday, and what airs on TV on Saturday in Memphis is what's going to direct you to Monday night show in the Mid-South Coliseum. However, that tape then gets bicycled to Nashville, to Louisville, to all the markets, Chattanooga, whatever it is, all the markets that they run. And the folks in those markets will see that tape the next Saturday, the next week when their television runs. And then you'll get the same matches in your town 1 week later. And that was cycling and bicycling the tapes. But all those tapes would be picked up and recorded over. So when someone has rare footage of, or a rare master, there were so few back in the day, Mid-South started keeping their tapes. They were one of the more current promotions that actually kept some of their tapes. We had always kept not all of our masters, which is just a shame when you sit back and think about it, but we kept our shows and we would edit what we called Best of Texas Wrestling in Houston. So that was a syndicated show that would go to Saudi Arabia and that would go to India and places like that. We had masters of those, but not masters of the entire taping and things like that. They just didn't exist. So for those who had those kind of libraries, yeah, Vince was interested in getting them and using them is part of what he was hoping one day would be the WWF network.
It's crazy to think about too, because, you know, $2.5 million becomes the price for all the Crockett and WCW and Georgia stuff. And $3 million is what he's going to pay for the AWA library around this time. And there's talk that Mike Graham here doesn't want to sell the Florida footage and Kevin Von Erich isn't opposed to selling, but he's got no financial motivation to do so, to sell that world-class collection. I was, I guess, a little shocked that Bill Watts didn't own the Mid-South footage. His ex-wife did. Wow. That was news to me.
Yeah. Anna had control over it. She got it in the divorce. And I don't know that Bill had ever put any big value on it. He probably did to her, said, okay, hey, well, this is worth $10 million. My God, you know what you could get for this. The fucked up thing here was the fucked up deal. Paul Bosch had original Mid-South programming on the Houston wrestling television shows. So when we started with Mid-South in 1983, that was about the time that we started to keep copies of the shows, of the masters that we would do that would air locally in Houston. And what that consisted of was an hour of the Mid-South show. That would be the middle, wrapped around by matches that were taped in the Coliseum, because that was our deal. And Houston had many years of Mid-South programming in the Houston office. When Vince is looking for all this stuff and Mid-South was giving him a hard time, so just go by Houston, because Houston has it for these years. It has it for the meaty years that you want, and it will decrease the price for whatever Mid-South is looking for Anna, because she had ridiculously high inflated value of what she thought that those tapes were worth. And I said, well, just go buy them from Houston. They've got them, and they don't know. So that's how all that went down.
It's pretty amazing that, you know, Vince had the vision to go invest millions of dollars. Now, you know, the company's worth billions. So it worked out. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-Free Shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.